I think I was even able to get along with my career because I was just constantly in some form of sedation to just get along with it, whether it be weed or other things, which I write about on my album. But
on the album you talk about codeine.
Yeah, these
and,
things.
I guess Mandy's, which I think is MDMA.
Yeah. I was just trying to get on with it, Louis, and this is the thing. When I became sober, I realised, like, wow, it's so deep. What I'd realised, I'd actually been doing to myself as a person to try and be somebody that they wanted me to be. And it's so sad. So I'd just gotten to that point where I was just like, what is my life right now? What is the point?
The winner of the Brit album for the MasterCard Album of the Year goes to RAYE. 21st Century Blues. Go.
Just truly
there you go.
Incredible evening. So really huge congratulations. The proudly independent artist released her debut album, My 21st Century Blues, last year. And the record not only received critical acclaim.
RAYE is the comeback story of modern pop music. She was recently nominated for 3 Grammys at this year's awards, including Best New Artist, and her last album, 21st Century Blues, excelled her to new heights within her career. But it hasn't always been glitz and glamour for the 27-year-old singer-songwriter. Here is the story of RAYE. RAYE first rose to fame through signing with Polydor Records, where she released dance singles and a plethora of EPs. She was featured on some of the biggest dance records in the UK in the last 5 years, such as David Guetta's Bed, You Don't Know Me with Jack Jones, and Regardless with Rudimental. All 3 of these songs were insanely popular UK top 40 hits, and RAYE's voice was constantly playing on radios around the UK. However, despite her huge amounts of commercial success, and specifically her UK music scene notoriety, RAYE was not allowed by her label to release her debut album, despite the calling for it. For instance, back in 2021, RAYE released a song titled Call On Me, which was reported as a single for her wildly anticipated debut album. Despite this, her debut album never came until she released it herself independently in February of 2023. The singer's initial breakthrough came when she released a debut EP when she was just 16, while an early track called Hotbox impressed the UK pop star Ollie Alexander, who was then the vocalist of Years and Years. Off the back of this, RAYE landed a shiny 4-album major label deal with Polydor in 2014, and she spent the next 7 years battling for creative control and being allowed to release very little of the music she truly believed in. Though RAYE had a near-finished album ready when she signed the record deal, she grew frustrated as her label pushed her to make chart-ready dance pop. This frustration and lack of control over her career unfortunately led RAYE to substance abuse. She told UK documentary maker Louis Theroux that I was able to get along with my career because I was in some sort of sedation. In 2021, RAYE took to her social media to vent this frustration and spoke out against Polydor in a video. The singer explained that she had dozens of potential hits sat in folders collecting dust or being given away to bigger, more established artists, and begged to be released from her contract. I've done everything Polydor asked me. I switched genres, I worked 7 days a week, she said. They either listen to me now or we part ways and they can save themselves this headache, because I'm about to make a headache. Polydor eventually released RAYE from her deal, which I don't doubt now they kick themselves for not letting her have full creative control after seeing her success with her independent debut album and how she has flourished since she was released from her deal. However, I don't think RAYE has any regrets. Her career is blossoming and she is now the face of the UK independent music scene, and she's paved the way for other independent musicians. She's showing you don't need a major label to create major waves in music. Also, in the name of karma, RAYE installed an album artwork display directly outside Polydor offices in 2023 to celebrate the release of her stellar album. Escapism was the #1 single that confirmed her triumphant comeback. In the Standard's review of 21st Century Blues, they said, "It's impossible for the listener not to root for her, especially when the drums crash in on Escapism." Escapism is a collaboration with American rapper and singer 070 Shake, and is inspired by hip-hop/R&B. Still catchy enough for radio play, but with cutting lyrics about wanting to escape reality. The chorus pulsates this message: "Doctor, doctor, anything please. Doctor, doctor, have mercy on me. Take this pain away. You're asking me my symptoms, doctor, I don't want to feel." Despite the fact this song is seemingly about a breakup, the man that I love sat me down last night and he told me that it's over, dumb decision. I feel as though lyrically, Escapism could also double as detailing her struggles with substance abuse as detailed earlier. Through the help of TikTok, Escapism went viral, and 3 months after its original release became RAYE's first #1 song in the UK. This signified the insane comeback that was about to happen with the long-awaited debut from RAYE, 21st Century Blues. 21st Century Blues is the album of a woman scorned. She's angry and she has every right to be. Oscar-winning Tears is a sentimental song about an ex of RAYE's that never seemed to take blame for anything in the relationship. With minimal instruments and mainly a leading drum beat and piano to back RAYE's vocals, it becomes a vocal highlight from this album. For instance, on the final chorus when RAYE sings "and baby, baby, you can go ahead and cry those, baby, and baby, baby, would you really go ahead and would you go ahead and just cry?" the music crescendos around her and her vocals really taking the spotlight.
And baby, 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 would you really go ahead and would you go ahead and just cry?
Body Dysmorphia is a very direct-to-the-point song about struggling with insecurities and, well, body dysmorphia, something that is unfortunately an issue on the rise within younger generations. RAYE sings very to the point and seemingly from first-hand experience, as can be seen through the lyrics, "I'm so hungry I can't sleep, but I know if I eat then I'll be in the bathroom on my knees, and I hug my knees and squeeze my waist, there's so much that I want to change. Yes, lately I've been thinking about the ways to rearrange my face." This is definitely a song her previous label wouldn't have let her release, but as I mentioned in an earlier video regarding 21st century pop stars, fans want relatability, they want to feel like someone understands them, and this is what RAYE did through this song, and it becomes a huge fan favourite. Similarly, Environmental Anxiety is a song about the climate crisis and how overlooked the younger generation is within everything. It's also interesting sonically, the majority of this album is very vocally charged, minimal instrumentation, very jazz and blues inspired, but Environmental Anxiety has this looping, robotic, melodic synth behind RAYE's again to the point lyrics.
How did you ever think it wasn't bound to happen?
Like the start of verse 2, and the rich get rich and the rest get sunk, classist, sexist, racist, ableist, fascist, ageist, homophobic. Country leaders fucked our futures and they think we haven't noticed. Through this album, RAYE not only paved the way for independent artists, but she also helped be a voice within media for the younger generation of today's Britain. She isn't afraid of the repercussions. She wants to be the voice for the voiceless, with her saying, "It is an artist's duty to reflect the times." The hardest listen is Ice Cream Man, a song that details RAYE's experience with sexual abuse within the music industry. I wanted to include this to mainly praise RAYE for writing this song and subsequently going on to perform it. While there have been great movements such as the Me Too movement, sexual assault is something with a huge taboo around it, and also it still is unfortunately something that can put a blacklist on careers for victims who choose to speak out. This album and RAYE are both courageous. RAYE has often been praised for her merging of genres on 21st Century Blues. We've had pop ballads such as Oscar-winning Tears, R&B songs such as Escapism, but there's also a huge jazz and blues influence throughout this album. For instance, Mary Jane is a smouldering blues ballad about substance abuse, and even the introduction interlude for this album is set within a blues club. The Thrill Is Gone also uses woodwind instruments over a jazz-inspired guitar riff. When RAYE was asked about genres and how experimental she is, she said, said, "There are so many different ways to express yourself as a songwriter and a musician that it hurts my soul to think that it can only be one. Whatever genre she puts her mind to, she does excellently, and that can be seen on this wonderful album." 21st Century Blues was a huge success for RAYE, including her emotional 6 wins at last year's Brit Awards, which saw her take home British Album of the Year and British Artist of the Year. Knowing the story behind RAYE, it was certainly emotional to see her finally get her recognition. I can imagine she felt it was a huge risk going against her label back in 2021, but risks do certainly pay off. As always, it is deeply inspiring to see someone make a triumphant comeback in the way that RAYE has, but I don't think even RAYE herself expected her comeback to be quite so legendary. 3 Grammy nominations, 6 Brit Awards, a live album from the Royal Albert Hall where she's accompanied by the Heritage Orchestra, a Billboard Hot 100 entry and a UK #1. RAYE has proven to anyone who ever doubted her that she is a force to be reckoned with, and I look forward to her continuing to be one of the main forces within UK music in years to come.